Gibbs, Bijan Gibbs. This is such a tough call, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an easy decision that you're forced to decide between when you're on the clock at 1.1, 1.2. You've got this proven commodity here, touchdown machine, does everything, probably smoothest running back in the game. And you have this guy, workhorse, new workhorse, coaching staff telling you we're going to feed him more than we ever have. And he's in a much better situation, even though Bijan's not in a horrible situation. We're going to break down who's the number one overall pick in 2026, whether you might think it be Jahmyr Chase. That's fine too. We'll talk about it. But which one of these bad boys is your RB1? The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in. And yes, we will be drafting on Underdog. Promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. So we will be drafting. Prepare, get ready for that. The link is pinned in the live chat. The link is in the description of the video. We will be drafting. So buckle up, Buttercups. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. Graveyard style, baby.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks. You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to draft. And we're here to discuss a little bit of Bijan Robinson, our man, the myth, the legend.
Get Bijan.
And our boy Jahmyr Gibbs, who needs no introduction, our number one. This is the show's number one. I don't mean to ruin the video for you, but we've been pretty adamant about this. And if you follow my content at all, you've already seen this song and dance. But it's such an important topic. And we also have so many people funneling in that haven't been here all offseason. And there's arguments to be made. There's even Jahmyr Chase arguments that need to be made at the 1.1, depending on if it's full PPR. If it's half PPR, it's Underdog, promo code Smitty, where we'll be drafting tonight. Half PPR, it's a lot more beneficial to grab this man, Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan, and get that running back domination, that running back production that really gets only trumped by quarterbacks in best ball. Underdog 0.5 PPR scoring. Gibbs is still my one even in PPR, though, because I think he lives in such an amazing situation, proven. No one's saying Jared Goff's the top 5, number 1, number 4, number 3 quarterback in the league. But this is a man that's produced consistently, and we know he's good. We know he's not only good, he's good in the system. He doesn't have to be elite. He just has to be very, very good, which is what he is. He's proven that over the years. St. Brown, Tesla, J-Mo Williams. We've got Laporta probably bouncing back. We've got Pacheco to take some of the grunt work away. Not that he's going to steal anything significant. We have a coaching staff stepping up and saying, we're going to feed Jahmyr Gibbs more than we've ever fed him. We're going to give him the workhorse volume finally. But I've got news for you that doesn't really matter, and nothing probably actually changes. They can say what they want about we're going to feed him more. This man got 61% of the rushing, volume, passing, the PPR work and the rushing work for the running back position, and that's enough. I don't think we want him getting much more than maybe 65% sum total, and then occasionally 80%. Let's say if Pacheco gets hurt for 4 or 5 games, and we get this we don't want this all off season or all season long. We want him to stay in that 61 to 60, probably 8%. So 61 to 68% of the total running back workload, including the reception work. And that's plenty. We've seen what that produces. My expectation this year with St. Brown, continuing to stretch the field. J-Mo stretching the field like he always does. Tesla getting more involved. Laporta getting back to work and bouncing back. My expectation is Jahmyr Gibbs averages 5.0 yards per carry. Let's put that at 290 attempts, which is 1450. So 5 yards a carry, 1450 rushing. Okay, 5 yards a carry. Let's give him 14 touchdowns on the ground. What? Oh my God. These are rushing touchdowns. Let's give him another 6 receiving touchdowns. My God, Smitty, did you just give this man 20 touchdowns? I sure did. And let's call this 4 to 6 touchdowns, just because there is a chance it's 18. 18 TDs receiving, 14 rushing. This could be an 18 to 20 touchdown season. Let's give the man, I don't know, how many receptions did he have last year? He had an unbelievable year. Let's pull it up. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2025 receiving numbers are as follows. He had 77 receptions for 618 and 5 touchdowns. 7, 6, 16 and 5 touchdowns. Kind of funny that anybody would even balk at the 4 to 6 TDs when he got 5 last year. So let's say he has 70 receptions for 600 again. Let's not even vault over that. So 1450, 7 for 600. The real increase will be in the touchdown category. This is going to put him in LaDainian Tomlinson territory, meaning you're sitting there in hindsight and in 2027 prep off of 2026 product. You're going to be sitting there going, who is the 1 pick? Oh God, Steve's got the 1 pick. Congratulations, Steve. You just won. You just got LaDainian Tomlinson. As we keep saying, and I've said this for weeks now, you hear other people talk about it. You hear a lot of people saying it. They're repeating what we say, that this is LaDainian Tomlinson. This is the LaDainian Tomlinson era. This era that's being brought into effect, revived. The era of LT was the era of Marshall Faulk, where you got the 1 pick, and it was not, are you going to win? It's who can even compete with you. Can you screw your draft up so much if you get the 1 pick out of the hat? You have such an advantage. Can you mess it up? We got a $20 super chat from Josh Daniel, dropping the wad right in the middle of the show.
Alert.
What a marvel.
Super chat alert.
What a marvel he is, Josh. Appreciate you. What's up, Smitty? Need your help. 12-team, half PPR, 2 QB, super flex league. It's a keeper league. I'm keeping May. Do I keep Devontae and lose 5th round value for the pick, or keep Rashee Rice and lose 7? Rashee Rice, easy call. The reason being, Josh, is it's very simple. Rashee Rice is going to cost you a 3rd rounder if you throw him back in. Adams is going around 5 or 6 in a keeper format. It might even be 6.1. You'll easily be able to get Devontae Adams back easier than getting Rice back. This is a no-brainer. Not to mention you get the 5th rounder to get Adams. Josh, think about what you're asking me. And I mean this in the coolest way. I'm not trying to rip on the question at all. I'm just trying to make you see the light, right? So you remember it. This is essentially giving you both. If you keep Adams in 5, you don't get your 5th rounder. If you keep Rice in 7, you get your 5th rounder where Devontae Adams goes, which you wouldn't have if you kept Adams. You get Adams and Rice by keeping Rice.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
It's unbelievable, to be honest. I mean, what a deal. What amazing drafting by Josh. Josh, what an unbelievable position to put yourself in.
To the moon.
Josh, thank you for the $20 and congratulations on having Devontae Adams for free. You're crushing your league mates. Drake May, what a keeper, bro. You have the number 1 or number 2 quarterback. Thank you very much. Josh, you're the man. I'm not the man. You're the man. And you just got yourself a free Devontae Adams. LT. This is LT. This is Marshall Faulk. This is the year of the running back where you just win because you get the 1.1 as long as you don't botch it or screw the pickup. Now, before I just anoint him the king and act like Gibbs or Bijan doesn't exist because Gibbs is king, he is king. I mean, we have this here for a reason. We made this so long ago, too. Daniel, the commander in the building. Daniel, I only dropped this with $20 super chats and above because we missed you so much and loved just seeing your mug. I want to play your video right now. Daniel, the commander, in with the super chat over in the corner. Very glad to have you here, my boy. Thank you for the super sticker, the pointing usual that Daniel drops. Appreciate Daniel. So yeah, 20. How many likes we have? We have only 24 thumbs up, and we've got 150 people in and out of here. Can we do a little better than that? Those are rookie numbers. Bijan's no, bum. And Bijan is unfortunately just trapped in a little bit lesser of a situation. Bijan has Stefanski, one of the worst coaches, I think, in the NFL. And if you want to call in and debate that, my phone lines will be open in a minute if you want to get dunked on. Stefanski's had his play calling duties stripped away from him twice now. Stefanski absolutely just messed up the entire Cleveland Browns quarterback situation last year. Just kept fiddling with it. Didn't prepare Shedeur. Set Shedeur up for failure. And really, Tommy Rees, last year, the offensive coordinator in Cleveland, who he brought over to rinse and repeat and have Tommy Rees as his offensive coordinator in Atlanta this year, which is good. I'll tell you in a minute. This Stefanski guy doesn't know what he's doing. You couldn't have handled that quarterback situation any worse. You just couldn't have handled it any worse. And while Tommy Rees calls the plays, and that's if you guys don't know the history of it, Stefanski relinquished his own, he was forced to, but relinquished his own play calling duties, had Tommy Rees call plays, and Tommy Rees took Shedeur, who Stefanski set Shedeur up for failure, set Tommy Rees up for failure, and then Tommy Rees still delivered, which is good for Tommy Rees, which gives us hope in Atlanta. And this is why I say Atlanta's not a horrible spot for Bijan, because it's not about Stefanski. You could say the same thing about Campbell in Detroit. I'm not saying Campbell's a bad coach. I'm just trying to give you an example that Campbell didn't have an effect. Ben Johnson was running the team. And we said this when Ben Johnson was about to depart. They should fire the successful, at the time too, very successful at the time because Ben Johnson just exploded and had this offense cooking. They should have fired Campbell and replaced him with Ben Johnson because it was the smarter move. That's the brains of the operation, not the morale in chief, the cheerleader in chief, which is what Campbell is. That's what Sirianni is over in Philly. And it's really what Stefanski should have been in Cleveland and should be in Atlanta. Problem is he meddles with everything. So while Tommy Rees is calling plays, you still have Stefanski who has his paws on everything, and he just ruins things when he touches them. And so while Rees is promising, while Rees took Shedeur, who was ill-prepared, and had him producing pretty well, and had Harold Fannin Jr. dropping loads all over the field, that's good for London. It's good for Kyle Pitts because Fannin's a tight end, and it must translate. But really, it's good for London even more than it is for Kyle Pitts because Fannin's a wide receiver trapped in a tight end position. He's actually a wide receiver. And so Fannin is doing what London should be doing, right, in 2026. So I'm excited for London. I'm excited for Pitts. In some ways, it's good that the Falcons will need to be throwing in the third and fourth quarter. But at the end of the day, Stefanski's still going to meddle. Is he going to pull quarterbacks? At least we like both Penix Jr. and Tua for what they can provide. But what if Tua does struggle to get the most out of this entire crew, and then Stefanski keeps him in there? Like, those are the things you have to think about. This situation's 5 times better than this situation. This running back might be slightly more gifted overall than this running back. Maybe you could argue more well-rounded. There's certainly things Gibbs does better than Bijan. He's faster. But you could argue no. I mean, they're both extremely quick. They're both in the top 10 plays of last season, but Gibbs has 3 of the top 10, and Bijan's in there too, but he has 3 top 10 fastest runs in the league last year. Hendy has 2 of them as well, by the way. Hendy has 2 of them. Hendy, he's got 2.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
These are 2 ultra-fast players. One could argue, splitting hairs as to which one's better at this and which one's better at that. But when push comes to shove, what did Dad always tell you? What does Papa Smitty always tell you? Roll with the player in the better offense. Because this man lives in a 5 times greater situation than this man. It is what it is. You want to argue differently, my phone line's open. You're only doing it because you have Bijan, or your prospects are set on drafting Bijan. But the truth is, the logical breakdown is this man lives in a much better environment. So when push comes to shove, they're both top 2, 3 overall players. He's going to score 14 or 15 touchdowns total. He's going to get you near, I would say near 2,000, maybe 1,800 to 2,000 yards almost no matter what. Let's call it 18. This guy lives in an offense that can provide him 20 plus touchdown capabilities. That's why the answer is and can only be Jahmyr Gibbs. Any other answer is fandom. Any other answer is just you trying to peddle that you have Bijan, you need him to be the number 1. But the truth is, you don't have to make that argument because they're both amazing. Just because this guy's the number 1 overall pick and 20 touchdown capable doesn't mean this guy gets knocked down a notch. It just means this is going to be his year. This is going to be his year, and he's going to explode. And he's going to have an unbelievable season that we're going to look back upon and say, this is going to be one of the greatest running back years we've seen in a long, long time. And this is going to be the start of a LaDainian Tomlinson. And maybe it's a LaDainian Tomlinson fault combination each and every year. And this is a 2-headed monster if you want to apply that principle, or go get Jamar Chase and Gibbs. That's what I call a 2-headed monster this year. By the way, your boy coined 2-head monster way back in 2002. We've been doing the 2-head monster before anybody. It was crazy back then. It was crazy. I was considered a madman when I got into the industry in 2002. I went on CBS and NBC Sports Radio, started dropping bold predictions in an industry where bold predictions were not around. Your boy essentially invented bold predictions and things like the 2-headed monster. I got in the business in 2002 because I couldn't find a single trade calculator in the industry, at least that was available, so I decided to create it myself. And I got into the business creating content, which you can find all my content, which has been an accumulation over the years of amazingness. Wrong button. Here, let's see if I can...
Live from the...
This right here, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go get your trade calculator on, your draft simulator on. I couldn't find a draft simulator or a trade calculator in the business, so I said I'll do it myself. And that's why we're here. Let's take some phone calls. I don't know if we have any other super chats here, and we'll answer these. Thanks again, Daniel, the commander, for dropping this one, my boy. I got a little slowness on my system today. I'm going to try and fix that. Daniel, the commander, appreciate every single time you come into the chat. Hope things are well with you, my boy. We've missed you. All right, phone lines are in. Dial in, and let's get into a draft, shall we? I haven't clicked it yet. Let's all get in together. Underdog promo code Smitty. The link is pinned in the live chat. The link's in the description of the video. If you're watching a replay, code Smitty also gets it done. And let's go ahead and pull up Underdog. So you open the app, click that link. It'll download the app for you. Let's open up. Smitty, you're the worst best ball player you come across. Well, that's unfortunate for you that you're out of here. So see you later. Enjoy your favorite show from the sidelines. Number 2, why was I in the top 1% of Best Ball Mania? Why did I finish with a team that was inside the top 1%? I'll let you stew on that, as you made a really ridiculous comment that had no validity whatsoever and now got kicked out of your favorite show. Let's go into let's click here. Let's click on the count of 5. We're going to tap into the Frenchie 8 butt Superflex. Pull it up. Green buttons there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Frenchie 8 butt Superflex. 4 more to start. 3 more. 2 more. Tap in, tap in, tap in. Let me pull this up. Michael from San Diego, you were live, young man. What can I do for you? Hold on one second. I don't think I'm getting any. Go ahead and try it one more time. I'm sorry, bro. Hold on a second. I still don't have any audio from you. Hold on. Let me fix this once and for all for you. And then everybody will be able to hear you. 1 second, my boy. I think I have to restart everything. Not now, but let's see here. Audio. Okay, now everybody will be able to hear you loud and clear. I very much apologize. Try one more time.
All good. No, I was just saying I agree with pretty much everything about Gibbs in terms of the situation. I would have a slight edge to him, but as the Bijan guy, and I do have Bijan over him in real life, I think where he could actually steal the number 1 crown this year would be touchdowns, because when you really look at the splits between him and Algier, and I know obviously Jahmyr Gibbs has David Montgomery, Algier was vulturing a lot more touchdown opportunities from Bijan. I think that's going to open up for him this year. I think I had some numbers pulled up to kind of prove my claim, but Gibbs had 62 red zone carries this past season, and then Bijan had 30. So I could see that ticking up a lot for Bijan, and maybe he's at 4 to 6 more touchdowns, and it could even out for him that way.
Yeah, but no offense, but that's silly math though when you really think about it though, bro, because you have everything new. You have a new you can't like extrapolate data from an old system and offense and coaches and just say he's going to get 4 or 6 more touchdowns. That's silly math. The one thing you could say is that the one thing you got to say is like Gibbs is in the same situation. Everything's the same there. Easier to replicate and talk about it that way. And you could say he's going to get, because they're going to workhorse him now, he's going to get 4 or 5 or 6 more touchdowns. I just think trying to use last year with Bijan is going to be hard to do.
Well, I'm not really trying to use last year. What I'm saying is I don't think Brian Robinson's going to get the respect that Tyler Algier got in the red zone. But it's what I'm saying, I can see Bijan scoring a lot more touchdowns this year.
Maybe
if
not.
He's down on overall yardage.
Yeah. Look,
done that way.
I love him. Oh man, Burrow falling here. Wow, Burrow falling to the 12 pick. I knew I was going to get the damn 12 pick though. Boy. Burrow and JSN. I can't be happier with that start. I couldn't be happier with that start. I almost went double QB, but man, Burrow at 12 is crazy in a super flex. I love that. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I understand what you're saying. I just disagree with it. I'm not saying Bijan can't score more touchdowns, but I think you are using last year's data because you were digging into it, talking about Brian Robinson versus Algier. The truth of the matter is they may have not used Algier. They may have used Algier less had he stayed, or they may have used him more. They may or may not, attack this differently than you think and that I think. The honest truth is Bijan's fantastic. Bijan's not going to really change. Bijan's going to get you 1,800 to 1,900 yards if all goes well. He's going to get you 15 touchdowns, probably 13 to 14, 15 touchdowns. The difference is this guy could get in the 20s. Gibbs could get in the 20s. There's only one other player in the NFL that I think even has a chance at 20 touchdowns other than Gibbs, and it's Ja'Marr Chase. That's why the phrase that I've coined over the years, over 25 plus years of doing this professionally, is that the two-headed monster this year is Jahmyr Chase and Gibbs. It's not even Bijan and Gibbs. But Bijan is still in my top 3 overall. If it's full PPR, I'm going Gibbs, Chase, Bijan. If it's half PPR, I'm going Gibbs and rotationally going Bijan and Chase, to be honest. But this is not a knock on Bijan. It's just Bijan doesn't live, in my opinion, in a 10 touch or a 20 touchdown environment. I think, whereas Gibbs can. And if I'm wrong about that, Gibbs and Bijan probably still score the same amount of touchdowns. So if I'm wrong, they're dead even. It's a wash. If I'm right, Gibbs is going to win leagues single-handedly.
Bijan's going to have that many touchdowns as well, though. I just don't see why that.
It's not far-fetched. It's just an odds game. You're talking about two very different offenses, bro. If you tell me, like, can a flower or a tree flourish in a desert environment? It can. What if there's the right kind of moisture? Let's say the wind blows, whatever. Let's say it rains weirdly in that spot. Like, yes, bro, I'm not saying Bijan is not worthy of being a top 3 overall player. Like, it's weird to me how there's so much pushback over people want Bijan to be 1 or I hate him. I invented Bijan.
No, I'm not.
I invented Bijan.
I'm not saying
so,
we're splitting here.
I know, but it does seem like people grasp at something different about this and say, oh, like, how could you not? But answer the question, is Atlanta a desert versus a plentiful tropical paradise like Detroit? So if you're trying to just be logical and smart about it, it's better off. You're far better off looking at this situation and just saying, this is a tropical paradise. The odds of him tripping into 20 touchdowns is a lot easier than this man just dragging everything he can and putting everything on his back to find 20 touchdowns. He's going to be amazing. He's going to be amazing like he was last year, but this is going to be transcendent. This is going to be a replication of last year, Bijan. I mean, bro, he had like 800. Oh, God, I'm on the clock. Hold on. Kenneth Walker. Oh, man. Kenneth Walker. Let's go Kenneth Walker and Brock Bowers. Holy smokes. Sorry I didn't have the picks up when I was making them. So Joe Burrow, JSN, Walker, Bowers. You can't get better than that. That balance is phenomenal. Yeah. Missing my...
Well, Meatloaf.
That's a squad right there. I love A.J. Brown, though. Part of me wanted to go A.J. Brown. But given that I had JSN, I had to go RB. All right. Anything else, bro? Again, it's splitting hairs, like you said. And also, if I came out here and said... the problem is, I didn't come out here and say, Bijan's going to replicate next year. You'll see, which is what he'll do. He'll be the exact same player he was last year. Meatloaf all around. You'd be like, I agree with that, Smitty. Great take. But because I said this guy's going to be even better than that, it makes people think I'm saying something negative about Bijan. I'm not. I'm just saying that not everything's fair. But hey, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Who knows? All I know is that this guy's in a tropical paradise. So the odds of a plant growing there are a little bit better. That's all. Daniel, the commander, Gibbs or Love, BTJ in a 27 first rounder. Wow. Where's the first rounder, Daniel? Michael, what do you think of that? Gibbs or Jeremiah Love, BTJ in a 27 first rounder? Let's assume the first rounder is like mid. Would you rather have...
He gets Jeremiah Love, BTJ, and
a mid.
Is it a mid first?
Yeah, I think I'd take Gibbs.
I'm taking that. I think I'm taking I think I'm going to roll the dice on the package there.
Yeah, you're definitely different than I am. I can almost predict, and I'm sure you can predict me as well. I'm pretty easy to predict, but you're pretty easy to predict in the other direction. You and I will go different ways a lot, and you're definitely more of the let me go get 3 attempts at something, and I'm like, give me Gibbs, bro.
It's not just 3 attempts at something though, because I think Jeremiah Love is going to be really good.
Jeremiah Love. I love him.
Right,
but the attempt part of this though is that you love to have Jeremiah Love play like Gibbs, right? And while I love BTJ and that first rounder is mid, who knows? So it's Casey Concepcion maybe, which is good, but like no,
I think next year's class is way better.
No,
though.
But you don't know where that pick's going to be. Let's say that pick is number 6 or 7. Then pick another person. I'm just trying to throw a name out. Like let's say it's Mekhi Lemon. You're talking about Lemon and BTJ to close that gap of Jeremiah Love to Gibbs. It's not worth it to me.
I value the 27. I think
that's what I'm saying. You like the different shots at different things. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why. You just don't like the way I define you.
Maybe
you don't like you feel that I put restrictions. I'm bracketing you like a cornerback. You don't like it.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, tough one, man. I think Jeremiah Love is going to be at his peak. Will be at least 80%, 85%.
Right. Okay, let's say that's true, and I agree with that. Is that worth BTJ and taking a shot on our maybe?
If we were to do this trade a year ago and BTJ was coming off the top 5 season, this not, and obviously that's a different reality.
Yeah, you can't even use the example. Really, it's in the past.
No, but as we've been talking about all off season, I think we all agree he's going to have a bounce back, and it's dynasty as well. So, even if it's not top 4, let's say he gets to low end wide receiver 1.
Chat,
pretty good.
Chat, vote on that. Would you rather have the trade offer? Let's see if I can put it back up. Or was it? Where was that at? Where was that at? Damn it. I'll just read it off. But BTJ, the 27 first rounder, and Jeremiah Love or Jahmyr Gibbs. Vote in the chat, please. And I'm almost on the clock again. Boy, I hope Josh Jacobs makes it to me. Please let him fall. Phone lines are open if anybody wants to get on the line here. So Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers, Fernando Mendoza, Malik Neighbors. Jeez, he keeps falling. I need a quarterback, but I'm just gonna keep punting it. I'm gonna take the chance on Malik Neighbors. Look at this team. Scattaboo, Bucky, Trey Henderson, man. Lab McConkey, Agbuka. I'm going to go Agbuka. So I have Joe Burrow, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Emeka Agbuka. That's quite a squad. I got the one quarterback. One of my favorite strategies in this entire in best ball especially, best ball Superflex is Mahomes and Fields, because it guarantees you one quarterback. And that way you're living, like I say, Doc Holliday. Just, Doc Holliday's got the tuberculosis, so he doesn't fear anything. So he just goes out there and he has such a confidence because he's got nothing to lose. I feel like if you have Mahomes and Fields, you'll take gambles at QB, like in a draft like this, we're hoping something falls that you like, because you got it covered. Like if Burrow goes down, I could back it up, and I will, but Burrow goes down, I'm kind of not in the same position. If Mahomes goes down, Fields does well for as many games as in that offense, he's going to do well. So it's such a safe Superflex QB1. But I wasn't going to, force grabbing. I was thinking about it, to be honest. Mahomes fell all the way down to here, but I was considering it just because of the safety mechanism of that. What else you got, Michael?
Getting back to that original conversation, I wanted your thoughts more on what potential splits would be between their RB2s. They're both their respective RB2s in Atlanta and Detroit. Because I think I could see Pacheco getting closer to David Montgomery work than I could see Brian Robinson getting close to Tyler Algier work. So, that's just my opinion.
But why do you say that when the coaching staff came out and said we're finally giving Gibbs the total workhorse role? What would make you take that information and think that we're going to see any sort of competition that could be negative? Or
I don't know if Gibbs, and this is going to sound crazy to say, but I don't know if you should use Gibbs as a complete workhorse because he's so elite when you spell him with another.
But it doesn't matter what you think. That's what they said they're doing. Like, it doesn't.
It's fine. So now we have to ask the question, okay, will he stand up? Will he handle that?
I mean, why? what has Gibbs done to prove he can't stay healthy on? And I don't even think they're going to give him that many more carries. It just might be that, like, think about it from this perspective. They're rotating Monty and Gibbs in those ways where, like, Gibbs got him all the way down there. It's an easy 1 yard plunge into the end zone, and they take him out. I think what it means is that he's never leaving the field in those scenarios, and it might not even add up to more abuse at all on his body. I just think that you don't want, like I said at the beginning, you don't want him getting more than 65, 68%. But that's and coaches can talk a big game about, hey, we're going to give him more work, and then they don't. But at the end of the day, if they're committed to not pulling him in favor of we like both of them, then Gibbs is getting all the touchdowns. I don't think there's a threat of injury. There's going to be more of a chance that Bijan gets hurt than Gibbs. Why? Because he's in a much tougher environment. And when environments are tougher, you take more abuse. And when you take more abuse, you have a higher risk of injury. I'm not saying that Gibbs will get hurt or that Bijan will get hurt or one won't get hurt. I'm just saying if you're trying to play a predicting injury with two healthy running backs that have no signs of any sort of injury history, then you're probably looking at, let's look at the harsher environment. Who might have a tougher time, in getting good carries and not getting kind of set up badly at times. Gibbs is going to have a much easier day every day. But
he's going to have an easier day, but I don't think the Falcons' offense is that bad. I know you mentioned that earlier. Like, you have Drake London and Bijan. You just want me to say Bijan's going to be as good as Gibbs this year. That's all you want to hear. I do.
I know.
I believe that. I truly believe that.
Man, I'm
not faulting you for going Gibbs. The situation is better. I mean, you can't do anything better. I'm just saying I think Bijan's a better back, and his situation isn't that far off. And I think he's about to feast on the goal line carries this year. Jahmyr had 8 touchdowns last year. I mean, that's a lot.
Look at my receiver. I'm always best player available, guys, and I'm sorry. This is such a. I couldn't have started this draft off more even. Like more balanced. This is the definition of balance. Burrow, JSN, Walker, Bowers. But then I couldn't help myself, especially with Neighbors maybe missing some time potentially. I got JSN, Neighbors, Igbuka, Devontae Adams, and BTJ. Wow. And one of those is going to be on the bench, but the flex rotation there is unbelievable. And I'll still get the running backs that I need. I'll be fine. I'll have a nice little rotation for my running back too. And then, quarterback sucks, but my quarterback's great, Joe Burrow, but I'll be fine. I'll make it work. It's super flex. So BTJ might be my super flex. Hold on one second, Michael. You can still hang tight there. Don't hang up yet. If you got anything else, chime in. Travis, you are live. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, I think Monty last year got 158 carries. I think Checo will probably be in that range. Gibbs' workload goes up a little bit. Monty Checo's at like 120, 130 carries. I don't think that's going to make a difference. What was he? He had 250, 243 last year. So
yeah,
he could handle another 20 or 25.
Well, but
he's not even at 275 at that point.
But here's what I think people aren't really understanding, though. Not you guys, is that Gibbs isn't going to get. I don't think Gibbs is getting any more workload. It's just when they were down at the inside the 10-yard line, and Gibbs had ripped off a long run. They put Monty in because you'd have Campbell being like, yeah, get him. He got this. He's going to go in there. And Gibbs would get taken out. Like every one of those plays when they're like inside the 10-yard line where Monty would just take 3 or 4 of those touchdowns away, those are gone now. I'm not saying Pacheco won't be useful at times and they won't consider, but that's what Gibbs is going to get. He's going to get 3 to maybe 6 or 3 to 7 of those, maybe even 10 of those opportunities back. And I think that's the only takeaway here is they're never going to look to the sideline like they did and said, well, which one? Let's put Monty. Monty can get these tough yards. They're literally never going to say, They're never going to look to the sideline at a lesser player and go, should we take Gibbs out? That's the takeaway here. Gibbs is never coming off the field when there's a touchdown opportunity. And I don't think that maybe that increases his carries 10 or 11 times, but they're short 1 yard, 2 yard, 5 yard plunges. Like this, nothing's going to change. He'll still be between 61 and probably 69% of the running back sum total workload, receiving and rushing. And the difference here in between is just going to be those ones where Monty took away a very easy cakewalk opportunity. That's it. There's nothing else to worry about. There's no injury risk increase on 10 or 12 carries that are those kinds of carries. Nothing. This guy's just going to score. That's why Gibbs is going to score more touchdowns than ever before. That's why Gibbs, like you're giving Gibbs those Monty touchdown opportunities. You're giving Gibbs about the same amount of touchdown opportunities that weren't there, that Bijan get half of what Bijan gets, period. Hold on a second, boys. Let's go with Jonathan Brooks here. Am I crazy? Harold Fannin. I went Jonathan Brooks. So I got Brooks and Walker. I don't want to take any of these quarterbacks. They're just the only quarterback that I wanted. Let me see here. Yeah, the only quarterback that I wanted. Where did he go? Did he go extremely high? Oh, there he is, Brissett. The only one I wanted was Brissett. I thought maybe he'd fall a little further, but he didn't. But anyway, this team is unbelievable. Joe Burrow, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Brock Bowers, Neighbors, Igbuka, Devontae Adams. Jonathan Brooks is my second running back. Risky, but fun. Fannin. So I got Fannin and BTJ and Adams rotating as my super flex. I'm fine with that. I think this is one of the best superflex teams I've built before, and I'm not even going with two quarterbacks. I think it's great. But do you understand what I'm saying, Michael? Is like the amount of touchdown opportunities that they used to turn to Monty and say, we love both of them. Let's throw Monty into this one. The fact that they're never going to do that again. Those 6 to, let's call them 10 opportunities are touchdown opportunities that make it almost near impossible for Bijan to contend with Gibbs' touchdown total. That's kind of what I'm saying. You're adding this.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you were saying that you believe Bijan would get more opportunities because Algiers out of the way. I'm saying based on a changing offense, new scheme, new coaches, you can't even say that's. You might even just get back Bijan to where he would have been. Like you take away the offense that he had, and you might have a dip in touchdowns, and then you get it back because Algiers gone and it ends up washing. You have no real way to quantify or explain with variables, controlled variables, that there's going to be more touchdown opportunities. I can. Everything stays the same for Gibbs except for 6 to 10, 6 to 12. I don't even know how many opportunities we're really talking. Let's just call it 8. 8 opportunities that Gibbs will punch 4 or 5 of them in that we didn't have before in a very controlled setting where Gibbs is going to probably get this many touchdowns. I'm just telling you, you're betting on the wrong horse if you're trying to bank on a 20 touchdown player when you're talking about Stefanski and Tua and Penix and Stefanski controlling that. And while there's 2 quarterback options that I do kind of like for Bijan because of Tua being a check down king and all of that, you still don't know if that's Mike McDaniel more than it is Tua. And so I believe anyway, that you have a far higher likelihood of disappointment on 10 different levels in Atlanta than you do in Detroit. But
yeah, no, that's a valid thought process. I guess what I was looking at was what they already, in terms of opportunities, Gibbs, what I was saying was Gibbs already had more goal line opportunities than Bijan Robinson. They weren't, like last year specifically, they weren't rotating David Montgomery in as much, which is why he was getting upset. And Gibbs got a lot of those goal line carries. He got double the goal line carries that Bijan did in terms of the 5-yard line. So what I'm thinking is, yeah, you're right. I can't predict the coaching. I don't think they're going to come in, especially after paying Bijan what they're about to pay him. I don't think they're going to come in and just take him out off the goal line as well. I think he's also going to manage most of those carries. And he had a lot of those opportunities stripped from him last year with Algier because they wanted to give him his run as well.
Yeah. I understand. I understand. Racing Boy with a $10 super chat. Racing Boy, you still here? Sorry about the wait on this one. Racing Boy to the moon. Appreciate you dropping that super chat, young man. Racing Boy says the following: in a jam in the 12-man dynasty superflex, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 3 flex, 6 point per TD. Burrow. Oh, hold on, I'm on the clock. Let's go. Oh man, that timer almost. I had to just grab somebody. I was going to time out. Let's go with I may have screwed that up because I didn't have enough time to draft on that. Somebody said, "Why am I drafting so many wide receivers when you only start 2?" Well, you start 2, but you have a flex and a super flex, so you technically can start 4. Not to mention if you're rotating around all of those guys together to try and compete with the quarterback scorer. And yeah, Brissett or Aaron Rodgers or Mendoza, like you look at these QBs. It is hard for one player to contend with even a Malik Willis when you're talking about a super flex format. When you're talking about one like a Adams contending with Malik Willis, it's kind of hard because quarterback scoring is so massive. But when you have as many players as I have, high caliber players, I don't know, bro. I have a feeling that my BTJ, Adams, Egbuka, and Fannin rotation will find its way of being as high scoring as Malik Willis. So, you can balk at the strategy all you want, but I think anybody suggesting that my team isn't straight fire is off the rocker. Joe Burrow, JSN, Walker, Bowers, Neighbors, Egbuka, Adams, BTJ, Jonathan Brooks, Harold Fannin, Keaton Mitchell, Jalen Coker I was timing out on. He's in my queue, but I didn't. I was going to try and grab somebody and look, but I didn't have enough time. Go ahead, Travis, then back over to Michael.
No, I was just saying that. Yeah. I actually think Robinson is, pretty close to Algier, like in terms of. Algier might be a little better, but in backup role, I don't think he'll get as many down opportunities as Algier got. Maybe I think they're pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. The thing is, Michael. Again, I think is you haven't once heard me say that Bijan's going to drop in value. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like people don't love that I like Gibbs this much. This year, they think it has to.
Not me,
but
I'm not one of those guys.
But why don't why does it have to be? Hey Smitty, why can't it be? Hey Smitty, I think you're projecting maybe too high numbers for Gibbs, and they're both going to be the same. Instead of it has to be. If I make a bold statement, hey, Gibbs is going to score 47 touchdowns. You're like, why can't it be Bijan? Instead of being like, they'll probably both be at 15.
I'm more on the argument that it's closer than it may seem. I mean, like you said, I can't argue with any of your points. Gibbs has a better situation. Also, Gibbs has a better schedule. So I'm not delusional on Gibbs having a higher likelihood of outproducing Bijan. I just think Bijan is better than him as a running back. And I think with the increased goal line opportunities, he can close the gap. That's all I'm saying. If not,
I don't even know that it's easy to say that Gibbs is better or Bijan's better than Gibbs at running back. I think they do different things for one. And honestly, there's things that Gibbs does that no running back can do. So I don't know. I'm not as. And for anybody that doesn't know what Mike you just said, which is a point I hadn't even got to yet because I'm drafting and I haven't even. Let me put using thefantasyfootballshow.com, which you guys should all go check out. I have a heat map, and this is another massive reason that Gibbs has the easiest rushing schedule in the entire National Football League. And not to mention, look at the playoff schedule, still very, very nice. And it's just, especially the beginning parts of this, he has one team that is redlined, and that's the New England Patriots, who I continue to say may or may not be red. They might still be orange, but there's a chance that, their schedule last year made it so that those numbers are a little bit different. Let me go. Man, I think I'm going to grab 2 quarterback stabs here. I'm going to go Mac Jones, who I really love Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is the better quarterback. I'm going to take Justin Fields just in case. I'm just grabbing a couple quarterback snags here. I'd rather waste the opportunity with like guys sniping on Coleman and Okonkwo. I like a lot, but I got 2 tight ends. I just decided I'm good at wide receiver to take a couple stabs at something, because if I land one of those, like it's going to be unbelievable. There's another okay. So anyway, the schedule is massive. Other additional thing that I hadn't even got to yet, but yes, the schedule is the number 1 in league. And to be fair and honest and transparent, if you check mark on my website the category that triggers the rushing and receiving combination. So if you add the 30% weight of the receiving schedule, it turns Gibbs into the 4th best schedule. So it actually goes down if you include the passing schedule, but it's still top notch. You know what I mean? So unbelievable schedule across the board. But if you take into account his receiving schedule, he moves down. Saquon has the best schedule in the league, although he has the worst schedule in the playoffs. Look at the red: Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco. That's brutal. But Gibbs is the 4th easiest schedule if you consider the fact that, and he has no red line matchups. Even New England is orange. There, everything is either orange or yellow or green. So Gibbs is just set up perfectly. You notice another name on there that everybody should keep an eye on is that Damon Claiborne right there. Travis Etienne, nice schedule. Judkins, nice schedule. If you do believe he'll stay healthy. You just wonder if that's gonna if he's gonna be allowed to throw though. I mean catch the ball. Anything else, boys? What else you got? Oh, I'm sorry. Racing Boy, you still here? I'm so sorry. In a jam. Where have we heard that before?
Quadruple J and Consultants.
Did you make a mess on the field?
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
In a jam, in my 12-man Dynasty Superflex, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 3 flex, 6 points for TD. QBs are Burrow, Mahomes, Willis, Scat, Tootin, Sharbs, Coleman, JSN, Buka, Neighbors, BTJ. How are you in a jam? Still drafting. In a jam in my 12-man Dynasty Superflex. What's his question? In a jam at running. Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot to put that in the other super chat. Can you tell us who's available or Scat Tootin? I don't think you're in that big of a jam, bro. I mean, the wide receivers are so good and the quarterbacks are so good. I'm okay with the Scat. I'm okay with the Scat Tootin Coleman, bro. I think that if I'm doing anything at all, it would just be potentially moving. Once he gains value, you could move BTJ and Scat or BTJ and Tootin for like one monster, or Charbonnet and BTJ for another running back. But I don't even think, maybe Willis. How about Willis? See if you can move Willis and Scat, or Willis and I keep Tootin. Scat Willis and Scat for one player. That's what I'd do. Other than that, I stand down.
Willis, Scat, and Downs. A lot of hype on Downs, and I like Downs. You can really upgrade. Yeah, he could move.
Yeah, I agree with Travis, and I think that's the only thing I'm looking to do. I don't want to touch the Tootin value because you're not getting enough for him in trade. I don't want to touch those quarterbacks. Go get Justin Fields if you don't have him, and maybe he did. I don't know if I read that right. And then just trying Willis. You can get rid of quarterbacks pretty easily. Willis and Scat. Scat's fun to keep and fun to trade. I mean, people love trading for him. So I think you could upgrade Scat quite a bit with Willis, quite a bit. Racing Boy, thank you. I'm sorry I made you wait on that. I put it on screen and then we got into a debate. Any news on Neighbors, says Charles? Zero. So if you've heard anything, it's not correct. There are people out there spreading rumors it'll be out through October, and that's just speculation. People are spreading those rumors off of, I think, it was not intended to be an ill will, statement or a misleading statement. Someone asked somebody in a medical sense, like what they thought, and their projection was, I don't think he'll be on the, that's all they said. And people took it like he's out till October. There's nothing. The only tangible thing that's come out on Neighbors that's concrete from the team or from Neighbors or from Neighbors' camp is from the general manager of the Giants, Joe Scheinbach, who said, and you got to take this with a grain of salt too, but he said that he's expecting him to be ready for week 1 until he hears otherwise. That's what he's expecting. So that is the only thing that's out there. And the man has 59 days, I think today. I think it's 59 days. 59 days today, which means that no one, not even his own doctor, has an idea of where he'll be in 60 days. Because he can be so far advanced or he could have a setback. T-Bone says Triple H and Associates will go nuclear this year. I really think the Triple A and Triple J's are going to be amazing.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
Quadruple J and Consultants.
Did you make a mess on the field?
And it's really quintuple J because it's Genty in the mix.
It's nasty. I think Sleeper had.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything else. It was Harbaugh just mentioned he's in a good place. He's not far behind Scatterbo right now. He's in a good place.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, Scatterbo's doing backflips. I mean, bro, Neighbors is ridiculous value. Look at this value I got Neighbors at 60 overall. So 5.12.
That's the thing. He's a first round.
6.1. Yeah, I should have took Buka ahead of him at 60 and then took Neighbors at 61 just out of principle. But 6.1 is essentially where you went. That's crazy. That is insane. This team is unbelievable. So, evaluating these teams real quick. The number 1 pick, Allen, Stafford, Barkley, Daniel Jones, Nico, Teddy North. Yeah, the 3 QBs is like let's be frank here. It of course in the QB position you're doing really well. But you're also you're walking a fine line of trying to compete with everyone else, and assuming their quarterbacks don't go down or anything, you're not going to hang if you're not perfect. So this team from the 1 spot pretty much shot himself in the foot. The 2 team, Gibbs, Nix, Goff, Ward, same thing, grabbing the 3 QBs. Gibbs and Hall too, without any wide receivers. A lot of people play this. You only have to start 2 wide receivers thing as a license to ignore the wide receiver position, but I don't know that that's not necessarily the smartest way to play this. And on top of that, it's like it just doesn't look like a deep team at all. Pittman, Addison, Waddle, and Higgins, those are the top 4 wide receivers. Like that doesn't stand a chance. Lamar Jackson. Oh, I'm going to time out here. Talk about not standing a chance. I timed out on somebody I needed. Yeah. Flacco, he's in my queue, but there's only 4 picks left, so it's not a big deal. And then, man. I just let it time out. My 2 quarterback picks, or no, not my quarter. Yeah, one of my quarterback picks in the receiver Coker above, I timed out for my queue. This one, I just let it time out on both of them because I wasn't prepared to, because I'm trying to review these teams. But I took 2 quarterback shots. I backed up Flacco and Burrow. So such a critical, I didn't want to say it as I was drafting. It's similar to the Mahomes and Fields thing because, look, Flacco produced when he was in there. He produced really well. So I'm almost guaranteed more than somebody that has, like, let me show you an example. Like this Baker, this team number 8, they have Baker Mayfield and they have Brissett. I feel like I'm in a better position than they are to have Burrow and Flacco and all of my assortment of rotational players that could play Superflex than he is, in case if Baker goes down and Brissett gets replaced, he's done. Like he has zero chance of continuing if he loses Baker and Brissett gets benched. If Joe Burrow goes down, Flacco can produce. So my Joe Burrow-Flacco combo is critical. And I have some pretty decent shots. Mac Jones, I think, you know, if I had to put a percentage on the odds of Purdy getting injured, I'd probably say, like, I don't know. Well, the odds of Purdy missing significant time is probably like 30, 40%. Yeah. So Mac Jones could be a hero for me. Fields, I hope he never plays, but if Fields could even be used in weird packages. You know, what if he gets a touchdown here and there? And then Anthony Richardson, same thing. And then Danny Dimes coming back from his injury. You don't know. So I think it's a pretty formidable, like, hope and prayer at the backup quarterback position. And then JSN, Neighbors, Igbuka, Adams, and BTJ and Coker. No one has the receivers I have. Nobody. And then Bowers, nobody has the tight end that I have. And then running back, yeah, there are teams that have a better running back stable, but I don't know, man. Walker, Brooks, Keaton Mitchell, Bigsby, and I backed up Walker with Emmett Johnson. Feeling pretty good. And let's see here. I think I won't tell you my plan of attack real quick because I want to make sure I don't get sniped, but I have a really solid strategy right here. Wide receiver, I've got no bye week conflicts, and I have such big, heavy hitters, I don't need to grab another one, and it's only mandatory too, so I'm good at wide receiver. Brock Bowers and Fannin, I think I could roll with 2 tight ends there. They're both bye week 13 and 11. So this strategy, I love this strategy that I have. When I'm on the clock, be ready to answer as quickly as you guys can, okay? Because I'm going to ask you what you think I should do here. And it should be pretty fast. Jameis Winston, if you own Dart, that's a good potential move. Superflex cuffing these quarterbacks is pretty smart when it's the right cuff. John says the 8 team's looking solid. That means I'm going to hate the 8 team. I'll look at that in a second. The 8 team probably is trash. Okay, on the clock, boys. Do I take DeMarcado to cuff to Walker and Emmett because I don't have the deepest running back room? Or do I take Kalen Black? Okay. And do I take DeMarcado now, or do I take Jalen Milroe, or Tyson Bagent?
I was thinking you might take James.
I'll go Milroe.
Yeah, Milroe's higher.
I love Milroe. I still think Milroe has a chance.
EM 42.
Cameron says, Smitty, you're a legend. Second year playing fantasy. Absolutely love watching you. Thanks, pal. Appreciate you very much. What a team, man. What a team. I almost went Demarcado just to give me, but I have faith in this running back stable. I mean, if Jonathan Brooks doesn't stay healthy, I'm in a little bit of a pickle. If like Walker goes, this is the way I kind of looked at it. I think if Walker went down, Demarcado and Emmett Johnson would probably split it for a little while. You know, I don't know. I think I'm probably cooked if Walker goes down. But I think that's the only thing threatening this team, which I don't mind taking that gamble. But Brooks and I mean, like if Kalen Black got in there and was the starter for the final like 8 games, and Walker went down, maybe that could salvage, I guess. But this is such a great team. Joe Burrow, JSN, Walker, Bowers, Neighbors, Buka, Adams, BTJ, Jonathan Brooks, Harold Fanning, Keaton Mitchell, Jalen Coker, Mac Jones, Fields, Flacco, Anthony Richardson, Milroe, Tank Bigsby, Emmett Johnson, Kalen Black. Tank Bigsby might be something I really am grateful I took him. That's a good squad, man. I was going through these other teams. Drake May, Genty, Jefferson, McBride. Pickens. I don't know. That 4 team. Ray G is drafting straight from the fantasyfootballshow.com playbook every time, so I'm always liking his teams. That's good. It's good squad.
I'm going to give Mike his wish.
Mike his wish?
Yeah, he said, "I have no clue what you're doing. Please make me the worst show on the internet."
Let me read it first.
You got to clarify between mics just in case. I don't want to get booted, man.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's probably that's probably the guy I just banned. He comes back. Please ban me. This is the worst show on the internet. I want to do it. I'll do it. There you go, Mike. Your dreams come true. You have no clue what you're doing. It's the same guy. You know who this probably is? It's probably the guy that drafted in one of the spots that I just roasted, and he doesn't like it. That's usually what happens.
He didn't like your draft.
Yeah, well, he's going to enjoy himself. You're banned. Congratulations. You got your wish, young man. You've made your dreams come true.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
What else you got, boys? I drafted one of the best Superflex teams I've ever drafted in my life. This right here is a monster squad, my boy. This is an unbelievable team. And that Joe Flacco Burrow cuffing it goes understated. JSN, Walker, Bowers, Neighbors, Egbuka, Adams, BTJ, Brooks, Fannin, Mitchell, Coker. Jeez, if that's a bad team, I'm in a padded room right now, banging my head against the wall with no one actually watching. So I got bigger problems on my hands than this draft if this is a bad team and I'm going cuckoo. What else we got, Travis? What else are you thinking? Travis? Hello? Mike, are you there? Oh, you know what? Hold on, boys. The phone line. I think. Are you there? Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, I got you now. Sorry, my speaker went out, so I had to plug it in. All right, there we go. Anything else? Oh, we sure do. We sure do. That is this show now, though. We do it on the main channel here. Yeah. And going forward, anybody drops a 50 wad at any point during a draft, we'll do a second draft. So there's that. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we do hit that extender? Well, we'll just hit it now. But anybody wants to extend the show, they can do so. Also, check out thefantasyfootballshow.com. where you can get this information, beautiful information like this one right here. The ages of all the players in the National Football League. And it's so fun to look at this list. And Bijan and HN aren't far behind Gibbs, by the way. A lot of people will be like, well, what about Kyron at 25? I'm like, can you read what do the numbers say? Like, where's Kyron at 25? He's not on the list. But this just gives you a sense of who's important, like who's just, getting started. I like seeing Judkins as the third youngest of the top 20 running backs gives you a little bit of a hope that even if this year isn't what everybody seems it, and I do stand by that, he's still got a lot of time. He's got a lot of time to get better.
Yeah, he's got more of a...
Yeah. What else you got, Mike?
I mean, we could maybe switch topics. I don't know if it's worth talking about because these two players have more of a gap in between them than Gibbs and Bijan, but I've been seeing them get a lot of hype recently. And I know a lot of people, I won't say a lot of people because Genty's going before him, and I think Genty's better. But it's an argument in a sense where Hampton's situation is a lot better than Genty's. And so is there any way possibly it's just a better value than Ashton Genty? Since, I'm not worried about the situation, but it is still worse than the Chargers in a sense, and it's a tough division. Obviously, it's one of the tougher schedules. Is that a conversation at all, or is it just
100%? 100%. I think it's a great topic, great question, and major validity behind it, especially after the arguments I just made with Gibbs and Bijan. Linton wants to do a best ball mania. Hey, Linton, if you want to call into the phone line, we can jump in. You can jump into the draft at the same time. There's a little bit of a YouTube delay, so sometimes it's hard to get into the same draft. So thanks, Mike, for all the support. Michael, you got banned. Appreciate you.
Right on time is John Mark.
What did he say?
He said, running back one. He said, why is everyone sleeping on Love? He'll be number one in fantasy points.
No one's sleeping on Love, bro. Linton, thank you. Linton, appreciate you with the $50 super chat.
Give me $50 holla.
Okay, so you
So
get.
I can type in, and he said he can't call in to baby sleeping, but I can type when to hit it because I'm on the phone with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Linton, if that works for you, bro. Okay, so real quickly, I'm still kind of working my way through how we're going to handle the extenders and the drafts and all that. So doing an extra draft, I'm going to take the timer off the board. I don't know that I can keep doing draft after draft after draft with the $50. I think that initiates the second draft. There might be like an escalator because honestly, I could be here literally all night. Like $50 super chats, very grateful when they happen. But as we get closer and closer to August, those are going to happen, and I could literally be here till 6 a.m. So we might have to have like a little bit of a governor of an escalator, like $100 super chat. We'll have another draft, then double that, $200. We'll have another draft, just to keep it controlled, if you will. And then if it gets out of control, I'd be very happy to do it. But once the second draft is over, I'll put the timer back on, and then if anybody wants to extend it for 5 more minutes for the $20 super chats, they can continue to do that as well. All right, so, and the Racing Boy says, you asked who's left at running back on the board. It's pretty much all backups if you ask pertaining to me earlier. Thank you, Racing Boy, for the additional super chat. You straight up savage, Racing Boy to the moon. And I think my advice stands. Use that quarterback to upgrade Scat. Even though I love Scat, Scat's still a worry. I think he's very exciting. I think if you don't make a trade at all, you'll be fine. Tootin and Scatterbo are two of the most fantastic running backs I can think of for a light running back room to do it the way you did it. So please do not trade Scat like in a weird way. Only upgrade him or don't trade him at all. Do you understand what I'm saying, my boy? Appreciate you racing, boy. Okay, Linton, we're going to go into the draft. Travis, I'll count down. We're doing a best ball mania, I think is what he wanted, right? So I'm going to click it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in a best ball mania now. Hopefully Linton can get in. I can't control how many people are in the draft currently when I hit the button. Sometimes it's...
You just sent now live stream, so he could have been able to get in because I sent it like 10 seconds before.
Where's Hammer been? Where the hell has Hammer been?
Yeah.
And Luis hasn't been...
Bad signals.
I know. And it's almost like they... It's almost like Luis, Hammer, Husseini, and Landman all like go silent together at the same time. It's weird. Okay. Landman's been popping in and out, but so he hasn't necessarily been missing. But Husseini, Landman, and Husseini, Hammer, and Luis have all been kind of absent at the same time. Like they all skipped school together. All right, what pick did I get, damn it? $11. Jeez. Why do I always get that, Travis? Why? It's a pretty good spot, though. It seems for Superflex anyway, but not for Best Ball Mania.
I'd rather have 11 than like.
Luis was in here tonight. Then he disappeared. Says Shelly. Okay. What's John doing now? Someone saying John's got to chill. I'm not just gonna let him take every take of mine, trash or team. What's he saying? Let's see, John. John, what are you getting into trouble, John? I told you to just stay out of trouble, bro.
I think you're saying.
Let's go with a little man. Okay, John, or Michael. Here's your question: Genty or Hampton? Travis, you got 4 seconds. Genty or Hampton?
Hampton.
This is a great topic. This is a great topic, though. It was a good one to toss out. Let me make my pick here, and then we'll continue on Michael's question, which was Hampton versus Genty. And it's good that he took Hampton there, so I didn't have to contemplate going Hampton and Genty, which I would have done, but then it makes the wide receiver room a little bit tougher. Or it doesn't, the balance is tough. But back to the question at hand. Let me get rid of these bad boys. And put the two players in question on screen. So Genty and Hampton. You're not wrong in using my same logic and just saying the situation is a lot better for Hampton. And given that they go in a very similar territory, like Genty's going 9, 10, 11, 12, and Hampton's going like 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's enough overlap that honestly, you're not crazy to go one over the other. But I think what has me still selecting Genty is I still think Genty's a by far better player than Hampton. I think Hampton, if I had to like, and I know he's in such a good situation. We love Hampton this year. He's going to ball the hell out. But Hampton's more like a Breece Hall, and Genty's more like Bijan. And whereas Bijan and Gibbs they're the top, they are the same. So it's a little bit different for me to step down to a player that I have ranked lower and say, well, the situation is going to override it, right? I don't think it's that simple here. Plus, I do believe that the Raiders are going to be way more improved than anybody's even anticipating. And I think they're going to shock some people. Much like the Detroit Lions did the year I predicted them to turn things around. I said that there was going to be a warning shot. They wouldn't make the playoffs, but they're going to let everyone know they were coming. And I said they're using the same blueprint as the Bengals, who I predicted to turn around as soon as they draft Ja'Marr Chase, which I predicted they would do, not Penei Sewell. They draft Ja'Marr Chase and become a contender right away. And people laughed at me. I was a moron. I didn't know ball. You stick to fantasy, you don't know ball. You have to know ball before you know fantasy football when you're in my position. And predicting the Bengals to turn it around, they did. Predicting the Detroit Lions to do it, just take 1 year to do it, and they did it. Now the Lions are a household fantasy football, high octane offense, household name. The same thing's going to happen to the Raiders. But they're in such a tough division, it's going to be similar to the Detroit Lions situation where it just can't happen this year, even though they're going to show people that it's coming. Like, this team is going to turn it around. They have the number one center in the league. They're revamping the offensive line like crazy. People that use the offensive line excuse, laughable. But this is such a tough division. All three of the only three wildcard spots would have to go to the entire division for them to get into the playoffs. And with the Patriots or Bills or the Chargers, Broncos, or Chiefs, winning this division, Bengals or Ravens, Jaguars, there's just no room for them to grab a wild card spot. There's still a lot they need to tweak, and then there's going to be some transition situations where it's going to take a little time for the team to not only get Fernando Mendoza cooking when he gets in there, and he'll get in there real quickly, but the transition might be some fun, bumpy, rocky roads. It's not going to necessarily be all sunshine and rose petals, but he's going to look good. He's going to develop really quick. So I think point is Genty's going to have Bowers stretching the field. There was no Bowers last year. He's going to have a quarterback throwing on the football. There was no quarterback throwing on the football last year. Let's see here. Let's go, Lad McConkey.
I think also the coaching upgrade isn't talked about as well, going from Pete Carroll.
Scheme, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and who's drafted in this spot? Taking show players so early, bro. Evans and Adams. Woo! I love both players, though. But that is definitely from the show playbook. At the risk of rinsing and repeating what I've already done tonight, why not? So Genty, AJB, McConkey, and Neighbors. It's a fun gamble. The thing about this approach too, and like I say in best ball, a lot of people don't really, if they're new to best ball, understand the way that it works. But you have in Best Ball Mania, you have weeks 1 through 14, week 15, week 16, and then week 17, which is the championship week. Your 2 teams have to make it out to go into round 15, which is the first round of the playoffs. So this is the playoffs right here. So this is the playoffs. This is the first round, essentially. This is round 2, but it's the first round of the playoffs. So only 2 teams have to make it out of your group of 12. And the way you got to look at that is you're not going up against the whole world. And when these people come into the live chat and they say, you got to have an uncommon common. Smitty, your team, you can't draft a team that's predictable. Yes, you can. You just have to draft the best players. Stop making it so complicated. Because the truth of the matter is you don't have to worry about any of that until you get out of your first round, which is essentially weeks 1 through 14. So you have to be a top 2 team to get out, right? So the top 2 teams advance, top scoring teams out of weeks 1 through 14. Once you get here, I always forget if it's 12 or 14. You're in a group of roughly 12 to 14. And then I believe it's 1 or 2 out of this one. Every contest is different. I always forget which ones. which, but let's say one advances. One advances to this round, one advances to this round, and then there's like 500 to, depending on the contest, 200 to like 500 people in this final bracket. So your team doesn't have to be that uncommon when you're only going up against like 200 to 500 to 600 people. So this whole notion that you have to have this team that nobody else can have is stupid. But second of all, you draft a team like I did with Neighbors. All I got to do is skate by, get into this final two, and if Neighbors is cooking by the time I get in, this team could be untouchable, just like the other one where as long as I'm in week 15, nothing else matters, right? So if I get to week 15, Neighbors, McConkey, AJ Brown, Genty, and I only have to be in the top two teams from this group. And then you got guys that take Devontae Smith in 3.1. Awesome. That helps me a lot. This team, Monty, I couldn't have asked for two better picks for these draft slots right here. Monty and Devontae Smith, they always seem to go there, and they kind of, in a sense, neutralize the first and second drafter. It gives you even better chance of getting in. Sorry, Michael, I know you don't want to hear more Devontae Smith.
I want to hear it all.
Negativity.
Videos the season.
You do that.
It's going to be your James Cook take last year.
While you say that, why is Devontae Smith one pick away from you getting out? bro.
12, you mean?
Yeah, if he goes one more pick up, you're out. You've already said if he goes to 2.12, you're out.
Just because I'd rather take Jeremiah Love, and we're talking Jeremiah Love, Drake London, Brock Bowers, and that, yeah.
Sure. So do you understand how silly it is when you come in and say that though? They're like, oh, you're gonna be. I'm gonna save this video. Okay, but when I say that and your response is, it to me it's hilarious. I'm gonna go JD5 here. To me, it's hilarious when you're still making these claims though, when he's on the door, knocking on the door of you won't draft him. Like that's the point. Like,
see what I see with Devontae Smith, and they understand the talent and what so they're taking him at his cost.
You don't. I don't think you're hearing it though. I don't. Travis, try to re-explain.
Running back. No, you're listening. You're not here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, try and explain it, Travis, because I clearly am not doing the greatest job because I don't know.
I can't say anything else than you said. Like I don't know.
Okay, it'd be one thing if I was saying this at 3.8 and you were saying I've got those videos clipped, or you said to me, "Hey, Smitty, I kind of agreeing with you now, but back when you were still saying this at 3.8, I clipped those videos." You're literally responding to fresh takes where I say, this guy's ruining his draft slot by taking Devontae Smith at 3.1. You're like, I can't wait to clip this video. But you're literally one pick away from you saying at 2.12, you're out. So do you understand the difference? It makes no sense. No, you don't, though. You don't, though, Michael.
No, you're saying it's by one pick. What I'm saying is because the running back and wide receiver.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Jeremiah Love.
It doesn't.
I would take Jeremiah Love before him. This no brainer.
Can you raise your hand in the chat if you're also scratching your head and just about to lose it when you're trying to explain this to him?
I don't think it's that complicated, and I understand very well. What I'm saying is, he's reached his max.
So how are you making statements like you're going to clip this? It would be, again, Michael, the appropriate thing that would be to remember when you didn't like him at 3.5, 3.8. I've got those clips, Smitty. But instead, you're saying it on a fresh take. You're saying it on a fresh take when we're literally almost in lockstep if he moves one more pick up.
Luis is just waiting for the right thing.
Yeah, Luis only comes out when Devontae Smith topics come up.
Like super hearing.
But I don't know. Chad, raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying and it's driving you nuts, and then you can put whatever you want to back him up. That's fine. It's just, Michael, it's not the appropriate amount of flair that you're wearing on your lapel. You're
all off season. That's
No,
the thing.
you're still not hearing. That still makes no sense. What you're saying right there, Michael. What you're saying right there makes no sense. You've taken the same take. I wish I could explain it better for him, because I think he thinks he knows. You don't though. You don't understand it.
What you're saying is because I'm willing to still take 3-1 as opposed and taking 2-12. It sounds silly.
So you can't.
There's a big gap there.
I understand that. I understand you're saying that, but if the gap is so, if we're so close to knocking on the door, you can't make statements like I'm going to clip this. You can't. It sounds silly, bro. All right, let's go ahead. It's like, I don't know. How else can I explain it, Travis? It'd be one thing if you're like, oh, we're getting closer to where I'm on the same page. You're literally, for those that don't understand, in the chat, he's saying if he goes one more ADP spot up to 2.12, he's out because the value doesn't make sense anymore. There's other running backs. But you're saying this in such a way that it's still ridiculous, my take. I'm going to clip this. You'll see. It's almost like you have no diminishing level of enthusiasm for you. It's a complete drop off a cliff. It's like, you'll see. I'm out. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Oh, I timed out as I'm arguing with you. That's not a bad timeout though, Bert. Herbert Ladd.
Because he's reached his max value is what I'm saying. Like, I don't like it as a Devonta Smith drafter.
I understand all that. None of that's in debate. I think that's why we're
over Jeremiah Love.
That's why we're on the wrong page, because I understand all of that.
Because there's a lot more receiver value this year in the draft than there's running back value and obviously tight end value. So I'm not going to take Devonta Smith over Jeremiah Love, potentially, or Brock Powers, or even Drake London. I prefer London. But to me, right there at 3-1, I will take him over Rice. I'll take him over Breece Hall. I'll get my shares of McBride and Allen. But I'll take him over everyone else in this round outside of Allen.
I know, but we understand that. None of this is up for debate. The whole thing, and again, we're on the wrong pages. Your level of intensity has not dropped as his ADP climbs to your breaking point. Your level of enthusiasm for it and how wrong the rest of the world is, including, that disagree with you, is the same level as if he was going around 5. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to describe. You're saying things like, got it clipped. Like, when you should be saying, you should be toning down the enthusiasm because you're reaching a breaking point and you're not toning it down. You're still saying, you're going to see when it's literally one pick away from you being out. One pick away, 2.12, you're done. You're not drafting Devonta Smith anymore. You're done. He crossed the line. He went too far. But yet at 3.1, you're clipping the video. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with what you're saying about, you like Jeremiah Love. No shit. I know that. I like Jeremiah Love a lot more too. But that doesn't, I'm not trying to have you defend where it switches for you. That's where you keep debating me. You're like, but I like Jeremiah Love more. I don't care about that. And I agree with you. And I understand you. But the level of intensity is what I'm arguing. The fact that you have you're gonna watch and I've got it clipped is the same level of intensity at 3.1 that it is at 3.8 when you're knocking on the door.
That Devonta Smith is in, let's say, 3.6. You're taking them there now?
I think that you have a better case to say I'm gonna be proven wrong when he's so much further down in the direction where you love him even more. That's what I'm not even trying to talk about whether you're right or I'm right or whatever. I'm talking about the level of intensity of your take does not change until you get to the cliff. And then you're just like, I'm out. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it.
I understand what you're saying. I get it. No, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that I didn't expect it to reach 3-1. I thought it would stay middle of third. I'm going to be enthusiastic regardless because I think he's going to have a monster year. But we've had this conversation so many times.
Who is drafting in this 12 spot that just keeps grabbing every show player known to man? Who is this? Is this Linden? Who's doing this? Who's grabbing every player, show player known to man? The Drake May Burrow, the Evans and the Adams really early. But hey, I'll tell you what, Linden or whoever that is, I like your team a lot. You're drafting a show team. I like your team a lot. I think maybe I didn't love the Sutton pick and the Dowdle pick, but we're not always going to love the same things. But I knew you were taking Fannin no matter what if I let him go, but I didn't want to lose Brooks. I got a pretty good team here. Genty, AJ Brown. Obviously, you sniped me on Drake May. I should have taken Drake May instead of Henderson. I just didn't know you were going to take Drake May in the 5th round, But I didn't know if that was a sniper or not. I couldn't fully tell at that point until you took both quarterbacks. Trey Henderson tried to get the May and Brown stack, didn't get it, but I love JD5. Harvey, Herbert with Lad McConkey, and then Brooks and Kyle Pitts is my tight end. Kyle Pitts in round 10 is ridiculous. I don't understand that at all. John, you're lucky I don't even want to go back and reread what you were saying. Just get to give John fresh start today. Behave. That's not Purple John, right? I always mix them up.
Which one?
Well, I guess I'm mixing them up already.
John,
Okay.
John Mark is the one who comes in with the crazy case. Like, you're sleeping on love, but it's better than a doomsday.
Okay. Which John Mark is on his very, very last leg, if not already gone, I forget. It's just about respecting the people in the chat and the show. Not about disagreeing. It's about coming, like if I go, Bijan's going, and it's like you come in and go, Bijan's going to suck. The first thing I remember, and all you're there is to defy the show title. Like, you mask it about, it's just my opinion. I can't have my own opinion. Like, that's not what you're doing, and you're going to be gone. Anybody doing that's going to be gone. But I'm taking Metcalf instead of Sutton and Monangai over Dowdle there. Is that you, bro? AJ, I like your team. I'd take DK over Sutton. Hell yeah. All right, I'm on the clock here, boys. Who do I
think you would too. I think those two pictures are close.
Mm-hmm. Hendy Genty. Oh boy, I'm gonna time out here. If I'm not careful. I'm gonna time out, so I just timed out on my cue essentially. A little early too, but Okonkwo, he was about maybe 12 players down, 10. He wouldn't have made it back to me, so it's not that big of a deal. But all right, so this next pick here, I'm gonna roll with. I guess I don't think he's making it back to me, especially drafting with my people, so I have to go Jonah Coleman here. Definitely ahead of ADP, but he is literally gonna go like right here. So when you drafted these ends, you got to kind of make some reaches sometimes to get the players you need. So team's looking really fly right now. I've got Genty, Hendy, Harvey, Coleman, Brooks. I love that. AJ Brown, McConkey, Neighbors. No other wide receivers yet. I'm really, really flying thin at the wide receiver position, but that's okay. You missed my super. I did? Okay. I'm sorry, bro. Racing Boy, thank you very much. You asked who was left on my team. Then Linton dropped that $50 super chat. Then 12 team, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver. Oh, Kevin, are you still here, bro? There's 2 of them that slipped in here. T-Bone, Triple H and Associates will go nuclear. I got that one. Thank you, T-Bone. Appreciate you. Kevin and AJ. I know AJ's still here. AJ, I apologize for the delay on that. Kevin, are you still here, bro? I'm so sorry about the delay. Usually I do not miss these. Sometimes they slip through. Okay, AJ says, Smitty, it's Woody. Love you, bro. Hey, I've figured out I like drafting later in the first round now. I want to call in soon. Good luck. Thank you, AJ. You can call in anytime, bro. And I like the 12 and 11 and 10 and 9 picks more when I'm not drafting with my people. What happens, though, is when I get the 10, 11, 12 and people snipe, having to wait like 20 picks coming down and back makes it where I just get screwed. So it's not so much that I hate the picks as much as I hate the picks when I'm drafting in Snipe City. Thank you, my boy. Kevin, appreciate you. 12 team full PPRs. Kevin's still here. Damn it. I'm sorry, Kevin. Where's Kevin at? 12 team full PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 keeper. I draft from the number 5 spot. Keep Devontae Smith in the 5th or Waddle in the 7th or 6th. Probably Smith because he goes a lot higher, and then I'd probably try and trade him. That's pretty good keeper value to a lot of people that like him.
Smitty, come on. What? I was getting happy for a second.
Yeah, I definitely would trade him at that value because I think he's good value in 5th round. I'd draft him in 4, so you're getting, in my opinion, about a round deal. About a round and a half type of deal. Oh, jeez. Drop the speaker here. Okay.
You got to get you a couple Devonta Smith shares. Just have fun with it.
I do. I drafted him when he was more appropriately priced. So I've got some shares. I got him when he was, like a 4th rounder, 4.1. That's where he deserves to be. This 3.1 nonsense is going to look a lot like Michael Pittman Jr. when people took him in the 2nd round. And I laughed at it. And I said, you guys are going to be very, very upset at yourselves taking Michael Pittman at 3.1, 2.12, 3.3, 3.5. Deontay Johnson going at 2.12, 2.11, 3.3. I couldn't believe I couldn't believe my eyes when people were taking Deontay Johnson and Michael Pittman that high. Antonio Williams. That's a good pick there. I probably shouldn't have taken Charbonnet there. I was running out of time again. That's the problem when I'm manning the phone lines, running the show, and then I just sometimes I run out of time. The 20-second, I remember when we had 30 seconds, it was a lot easier. 20 seconds goes quick because really you're on the clock and it says 18 seconds like before you even like look down, right? So it's really, you only have like 18, 17 seconds to pick. And I love it. I wouldn't take it back. I would not choose 30 seconds if I'd prefer to go quicker, but it definitely would have wanted to grab 2 wide receivers right there. So that could screw me, but it's right. Where's Hammer at? I don't know where Hammer's been. Ron called in recently. Yeah, he did.
After giving his runs.
Dynasty startup draft. Yeah, we could do that someday, John. One of the better ideas John's had in a while. Dynasty startup draft. I could do that. We could do it on the Dynasty channel and this channel. Part of me was thinking I could do a dual stream to both channels and see what that does. And whenever we do a Dynasty show, we just do it on both shows. Because I can multi-stream to both my YouTube channels at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. And I could just, whenever we do a Dynasty show, I'll stream it to both. What do you think of this team so far? I know I'm hurting at wide receiver, but Genty, A.J. Brown, McConkey, Neighbors, Henderson, JD5, Harvey, Herbert, Jonathan Brooks. I mean, so far, it's great. Genty, Hendy, Harvey, Brooks, and Coleman. That's great. And then AJB, McConkey, Neighbors, JD5 and Herbert, Kyle Pitts and Okonkwo. I think the key for me is if I get, let's say, Malachi Fields, I have that cuffed to Neighbors. I have Antonio Williams as well. So if I get Malachi Fields, I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's that crazy of a wide receiver room. I think it's actually pretty decent at that point. What do you like on this team? What don't you like, Michael? I'm gonna read it again.
I think the team hinges on Neighbors. I'm a little bit more worried than I guess you are, just because if I'm not mistaken, him and Kraft injury, just the severity of his is a lot worse, and pretty much been a lock, it seems, this whole offseason to come back week 1. I think if you're the Giants and he's not 100%, this is your franchise receiver, you at least start him on PUP to start the season off. So if he's there in the 4th round, if he comes back week 5, let's just, just to be realistic, even though we don't have a real date yet, if you wanted to say, okay, he comes back week 5, 4th round value is still good, but is he going to be back? Is there going to be a ramp-up period? I think it just depends on Neighbors.
That's why I'm not all that worried, but I'm also okay if I'm going to get like 8 weeks up. Like, even if he starts in the pocket, I'm okay. But it's definitely, it's a decision you have to make.
Yeah. At 4th round value, I can't argue it as much, though. He's fallen a bit.
This receiver room shaped up nicely, actually. I got A.J. Brown, Lab McConkey. It took Trey Harris as well. So Trey Harris, Lab McConkey, Neighbors, Antonio Williams, and Tesla. I like it. Actually, wide receivers turned out pretty good. Running backs are fire. Genty, Hendy, Harvey, Brooks, Coleman, Charbonnet. Daniels and Herbert, that's by week 7. Both of them are by week 7, so I'm in a little bit of a pickle there, but hang tight on that, TBA. TBA. Well, boys, let me put the timer up on screen. Any $20 super chat will extend the show an additional 10 minutes if anybody would like to. Did that other guy come back around? The other super chatter?
One.
It was Kevin. Poor Kevin, man. Kevin, I'm so sorry about missing your super chat. If you're there, I just said I'd keep Devontae Smith, and I would. First one's on me, says Mike. Mike wants to extend the show. Extender.
5-minute extender.
The show has just been extended 5 minutes due to a $20 super chat.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
Mike's got a fan.
Okay. Is this a question for Mike? Hold on 1 second. Let me just get this screen saved. My whole system's crawling. Mike with the extender. Appreciate you, Mike, dropping the extender on the channel. And let's go back here real quickly. Hold on. I'm trying to navigate 10 screens here. So Mike from San Diego says, first one's on me. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. And then John Savage asked this question here, or left this comment. Let me go back over here. John says, I think Mike is my favorite caller. I would love to hear more from him. John, tell your dad thanks for sending that $5 super chat. Just kidding. That's my dad. Mike, what is your topic of choice, my guy? And I appreciate your $20 super chat.
I guess off top, anyone can pick anything. I just want to keep the show going. But when are we going to get a resolution for the on Diggs free agency? I know training camp's around the corner. I feel like IU's pretty much got to be out the question at this point. At this point. Is that what they're waiting on? To be resolved before training camp?
You're talking about Diggs?
Yeah.
I think Diggs probably Yeah, I think that the new allegations are holding it up. But then again, I don't know if that's for sure. Because it sounds like especially today, there's a lot of buzz around teams that have been calling and being interested, but are they going to hold off on, making the interest turn into an offer until his situation becomes more clear? I don't know if it'll be solved by the time. They might have to make a determination that he will be able to push everything off until, next offseason or something, and then they'll bring him in for 1 year and say, we'll do a 1-year deal, and when he's dealing with this stuff, he'll be off the team again. I don't know. That could be the way that it plays out, but certainly a little hiccup and wrinkle in the Diggs coming back was the new allegations against him. So I don't know.
I bet teams are probably digging to try to figure out what's going on. He did say one thing. Diggs did say on him, quote, "You can't name a number 2 wide receiver back."
Yeah, we did that on the APM show.
I think that's good. That he said that. That he recognized the place.
Yeah, we talked about. I said it was actually on the APM show, and we talked about it. That quote, that it was a unique thing that he said, because he would think he would say he was a number 1, but I also think he needs a job, and he knows that,
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think that, like you said, people are going to dig around it and see what's what. And depending on the findings, like if this is a very, very bad looking situation, no one's going to touch it. He's not going to sign anywhere. But if it seems like it's another kind of wild goose chase, then I could see him signing pretty quickly. This is the team real quick.
Okay. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I'm going to say, so let's say it's worst case scenario for Diggs, right? Did that pressure the Commanders to revisit Ayuk more, or are they just going to say, let's run it with who we have, because it's not worth either?
It could open the door to, if let's say Ayuk were to change his tune a little bit or something like that, or dial down the rhetoric, and maybe he has a talk with Adam Peters and goes, look, my social media is a little wild, I'm sorry, I'll stop or whatever. And like, who knows? Who knows what could happen? But I think, yeah, he seems a little bit off his rocker for sure, but who knows? I mean, it's hard to really say. I think Diggs we're just like Travis said, he put it perfectly. We're waiting to see how bad the situation really is. And teams are going to have to make assumptions on that, but they have to investigate it a little bit. And if things look really bad, no one's going to bring him in. So if it looks like something that, even if it could be bad, it's going to take 1.5 years to sort out, then I think teams will be like, okay, well, will he be suspended? Because you got to understand that they're looking to the NFL too, to say like, hey, NFL, are you going to suspend him if we sign him? So they need that determination by the NFL. The NFL is looking into it. And I think maybe, behind closed doors, the commissioner has communications with teams like that. So it's just so not looking at the situation with Diggs right now, or who knows? I don't know. But he's certainly somebody that teams would have signed if this had not got brought back. Another thing didn't pop up. If Diggs didn't have another issue, he would have probably been signed already. And you know how we've been saying on the channel that Diggs not signing's kind of been odd? Like, we're like, man, his thing got, he should be signing any day soon now that his court stuff got cleared up. And then we're like waiting. We're like, I wonder why he's not signing yet. I think maybe teams had a little bit of a lead on this, that there's another thing popping up soon. And so everybody's been waiting. But it's a good topic, and he's still potentially a good fantasy wide receiver, like 4 or something, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's the team. It penciled out real nice. JD5, Justin Herbert, and then Jacoby Brissett for my bye week problem, which I could get burned on it if they pull him before week 7, but I think week 7 is pretty good. I think if it was like week 12, I'd be a little worried. But week 7, I think Brissett can get through that, as he should. He should be the starter all year, but the Cardinals are the Cardinals. Genty, Hendy, Harvey, Jonathan Brooks, Jonah Coleman, Charbonnet, wonderful running back stable with this bully QB situation I got here. AJB, McConkey, Neighbors, Antonio Williams, Tesla, Trey Harris to cuff to McConkey, Malachi Fields to cuff to Neighbors. I don't think that wide receiver room could have got any better the way that I did it. I think that's awesome. And then Kyle Pitts and Okonkwo, different bye weeks, but only 2 tight ends. I like it. It's a really good best ball team. That's pretty unique. I could see that team if Neighbors is like, if Neighbors takes, like you said, Mike, let's just say worst case scenario, he gets put on PUP, misses 4 weeks, comes back for week 5. Malachi Fields becomes relevant. Maybe he keeps me afloat. Maybe Antonio Williams is a lot better than we think. Maybe Tesla is grabbing 2 touchdowns in 3 games. You know, just doing, you know, efficient, you know, low volume type work. I like this team a lot.
I think AJ Brown will keep you afloat, and then Neighbors can carry you.
Thank you, DK. Thank you, DK. Appreciate that. Yeah. And damn it, I'm so mad at myself that it was Kevin. Kevin, are you out there, bro? Let me know. Standing ovation for Kevin, sending him to Jupiter if he's still there. He super chatted before the Linton extender for the extra draft, and I didn't see it. And so, poor guy was looking for this advice, and I didn't even get to tell it to him in time. I think he took off. Kevin, if you're still there, Kevin Bryant, please let me know. My answer again is I would keep Devontae Smith pretty easily, and then I would trade him.
Unless we have another topic, I was going to ask you, would you rather have Kyler Murray or
Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy? Can I have Mac Jones and Brock Purdy?
Yeah, sure.
Give me those two. And if I could only have one, if I couldn't have Mac Jones, I might take Kyler because of the running. But I think there's a far more chance I don't get screwed by having the Niner combo. I just don't know if Kyler, like, I like him, but is there a little bit? I hate to use
that was my next question to you. So are you a little for them?
I hate to use the word Russell Wilson and Kyler in the same breath because I don't view them the same. I view Kyler as a much better player than Russell Wilson. But the whole notion that Russell could revitalize, even in Denver, even if you take it back to Denver, that feeling of, no, it might still happen, and then it was so disastrous, that worries you a little bit. You know, if you're going to put your fantasy football starting lineup on the line, I love Kyler as a second quarterback, a third quarterback in best ball. But would I ever draft Kyler and start him? No. And it does give you a little pause on JJ, you know, when you think of it like that. But at the same time, you know, you can't live scared for JJ. And if Kyler's not doing it, you know, did they trade for somebody? I don't know. I can't imagine Kyler healthy not playing in front of JJ McCarthy, though. But yeah, I guess Kyler's got a little bit of a... The thing that also concerns me about Kyler is that he's on a 1-year deal with no tag clause. Like, it just... The ability for him to return to Minnesota is like slim to none. Like, it's just such a dumb contract.
He plays well, right? If he plays well, then they're not going to make the same mistake twice.
Well, how they got to sign, but the thing is, it's in a awkward situation because he can't be tagged, and if he plays so well, he's going to command so much money. Teams that come and get you from another team where there's no tag, they'll overpay way more than the team that's retaining you because they're trying to pry you. So it's like the odds of Kyler returning on a big deal to Minnesota are pretty slim because he'd have to.
Right. You don't think they'd be making that mistake again, though? Like they made the same mistake they made with Darnold. You know, they don't believe in him. He had a solid year, but we don't trust him long term. He goes elsewhere and then fails. I mean, if he plays, him fired.
If he plays that well, and he loves JJ, and he loves Minnesota, let's say, I could see it happening, I suppose. But it's why it's slim, though. It's because the margins are so wild on that. That like he has to play. He's got to play good enough for them to want to pay him, and then he's got to play. If he plays too good, then the whole 5, 6, 7 options that go his way are gonna. They might have more willingness to overpay. It's hard to say, That's why it makes it such a
amazing, but he plays, let's say, slightly above average, right? And they make a playoff, they make a wild card berth, losing the first round. Is that not enough for them to say, hey, because that's more stability than we had before, or are we just gonna, re-roll and do the
But that's what I'm saying is the margins for all of that to set up properly are slim. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying like the perfect storm has to happen for him to be back in Minnesota. It's almost really stupid in a way. What? I think that the NFL should have something in line where a player coming off a massive contract where the Cardinals are paying him like $35 million to play for the Vikings this year. So that's where the hang up is Kyler's getting 35 or 34 or whatever it is from the Cardinals. The Vikings, every dollar they go over the league minimum, they're making the Cardinals pay less money and they're just paying the same share. Meaning if they go to the Cardinal or go to Kyler and say, we'll give you $10 million a year, the Cardinals 35 million would just go to 34 or 24 million. So Kyler gets not a single dollar more if the Vikings up their contract at all, unless they exceed $35 million. So if the Vikings pay him $37 million, Kyler will make $2 million more than, like, if they paid him $37 million, he would make, if it was 35, I think it's about 34, 35 that the Cardinals are paying him. Then if they paid him $37 million, then he'd make $2 million more than he would have. And if they paid him $25 million, then the Cardinals are off the hook on all $25 million, and they only owe him the additional 10 million. So it's essentially league minimum no matter what. Like Kyler couldn't even negotiate. What's Kyler going to say? Pay me $37 million a year. So it was literally, we're giving you the league minimum. And then he's like, I want a no tag clause, which was a grave mistake to put in there. Just a stupid, idiotic move.
And the thing is, like, if he plays well, and there could still be some questions. Like, oh, do we whatever? He's going to immediately say, well, I want more than Malik Willis, because Malik Willis is backup. I've been a proven starter. And he's going to want more than the Daniel Jones contract, because Daniel Jones probably could have even asked for more, but he was coming off next year. You're looking at like $5 million a year. You're going to have to, probably.
Yep.
I think they do it because the last guy got fired because he didn't.
If he plays well.
If he plays well, of course. You'd be at a crossroads. It'd simply be like, hey, do we want to
agreed, but
we want to with Prime Jefferson and the defense?
Agreed, but it's still a perfect storm. Like it has to line up in the weirdest way. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it can't happen. It's just a low probability of everything going.
Because what if he plays okay? Don't make the playoffs. He looks good, but they don't make the playoffs for him. And they have like into both. Might be a QB set.
Yeah, then they don't commit big money.
QB.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a tough. The margins are crazy for it to work out. That's all I'm saying. The likelihood of him being back in Minnesota is not great, just because it has to be perfect. Not that it can't. Guys, I just dropped a link in the live chat. That is for a private 12-man draft on Underdog. Promo code Smitty. There's 9 more to get in. It's just one of these slow. I'll drop one of these on the way out the door pretty much every night, I think. Where it's a 12-person draft. It's $20 to first place, $9 to second place. Their money back to third place, $3 entry. But the thing that's fun about these is they add up. Like when you do like 20, 30 of these, and they're cheap, they're $3. And we stay together the entire season. We don't split up later. It's just us 12. There's only us 12 in this draft the entire year. It's not the big contest. It's the same scoring, same lineup, same everything. It's just a slow 12-person draft league, like private league on Underdog. And first place gets 20. And I usually do I did a couple hundred of these like one year. No, maybe like 110 or something like that. And I just remember looking at my Underdog account one day, and it was like, boom, I had this injection of all this. Not that I'm suggesting I dominated all those, but I mean, when you win it all adds up, and you're like, oh, there's several $100s to get deposited right in your Underdog account because you're winning like a handful of these $20 contests. But I dropped that link. It's in the live chat. 9 more to start. Here's the link one more time if anybody wants to jump into this particular Underdog draft. It is right. Let me see. Right there. Let me pin it on the way out the door. Anything else, Michael? Appreciate your extender, by the way.
No, that's it, man. Appreciate you. We got to go.
Yeah. Hey, are you on Patreon?
No.
Email me. Email me. Go to Smitty and on my website, and email me real quick. I'll get you on the Patreon. All right. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Good night.
All right, later. Travis, anything else?
Appreciate
Travis, you like this? You like this red logo better than the blue one? I forget what you said. This red one looks so clean.
Did you put it up? Wait.
Yeah, I think like in
right in the blue. Yeah, I do like that.
On print, the blue one, like on t-shirts, on print. Well, I don't know. We'll see on the t-shirts, but the blue one looks the cleanest on like print, but on like video, this red one's popping.
On video, red with blue.
I like them. I like that I can change it out though. There's no needing to commit to either. This blue one's pretty ice cold. I like it. Vote in the chat which one you like more. By the way, 7 more to start that draft. It's a slow 8-hour timer. Link's been dropped. $3 to get in.
Blue just looks like
blue and red.
It does look better on video though.
Yeah. All right, Travis, appreciate you, bro.
Thanks to you later.
Later, man. Guys, thank you for all the super chats, extenders. Kevin, if you're out there, please let me know. Poor Kevin, man, he dropped this right before that $50 draft and probably went to bed. I don't know how to get a hold of Kevin. Kevin, I want to put this on the end screen until I get confirmation that you saw it. Okay. I'll leave that right there. If you're out there, Kevin, let me know. Blue is cool. See you in there, Smith. Have a good one. See you later. Sports, appreciate you. Shelly, appreciate you. Thanks, Travis. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Space. Ricky, if you're out there, young man out there in the outer space. Sick Nasty, you're the man. Simi Valley, appreciate you. Aldi, appreciate you. DeBolt, I don't know if I've seen DeBolt in a while either. Vampy. 7 more to start. I've got the draft pinned in the live chat. Thanks, Caps. Appreciate you. See you, Turbo. See you, Robo. See you. Who else is in here? We got a lot of people in here, but who else is out here that I haven't said? John, appreciate you. John Savage for dropping the super chat. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Great team, Smitty. I took Antonio Williams at the 1.10, says John. Thank you, Savage. Appreciate you, bro. I'm going to call you Savage because we got a bunch of Johns that cause trouble in here sometimes. I know. I'm going to call you Savage. DK, appreciate you dropping the kind message, kind sir. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Linton, for the $50 hauler. Thank you, Mike, for the extender. Savage, appreciate you. AJ, thank you. Racing Boy, appreciate you. T-Bone, appreciate you. Racing Boy, Daniel the Commander, and then Josh Daniel, who dropped that initial $20 super chat. Appreciate you all. See everyone tomorrow. Rockout says Smitty got disconnected. Rockout, call in real quick. Call back in real quick, Rockout. We'll have Rockout dial in real quick because he must have got cut off. Sorry, Rockout, I don't know what happened there. What else you got real quickly? You're the man. You're live.
Oh, as far as after Gibbs, are you always picking Robinson, or are you switching it up with like Chase?
Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you. I'd probably say, yeah. Let me give you a. I'll plot this out. I think I need to do a video on this. I mean, this video was good, but I think I need to do another video on the three of them. And then you're gonna hear me rehash a little bit of the Gibbs stuff, but it'll be helpful. It'll be useful, and the combination of the three, talking the three, I think it's gonna be pretty useful. So I'll save some of the debating of this for the video, and maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe I'll do this video tomorrow. So Jahmyr Chase, I'd probably say that if I have 10 drafts, I'm taking at 1.1. I'm taking Gibbs in 7 of them, so 70%. Maybe 65%, but 70%. If I'm taking Bijan. Maybe I got to do this as 60%. So 6 drafts out of 10. And then I'm going to go 20%. 20% maybe. Let me just move these numbers around a little bit. Probably going to go give 5 back. And then go 70 back to 70%. So 7 drafts, 1.5 drafts out of 10, 1.5 drafts out of 10. So essentially, Jahmyr Chase is dead even with Bijan. But the kicker in tomorrow's video is what will happen if you take away my ability to pick either one of these. Which one would I go with? That video is tomorrow.
Okay.
Rock out. You're the man, the myth, legend.
Cool. Yeah.
And hey, during the season, I gotta. Oh, Rockout's gone. I gotta make sure I remember Rockout's got a Marsman card. He gets to jump the line. I'll start remembering that, Rockout. I'm sorry. You're such a regular caller. We kind of like Travis. Kind of when he regular call, he doesn't really. It's almost like because you're such a OG, we kind of don't give you special treatment because you're always here and. But truth is, you got that card, bro. So you need to jump the line. Caps, appreciate you. Later, Big. See you later, Big Al. Kevin, are you there? Kevin Bryant. Please report to the front office or the front stage. Kevin Bryant, please report to the front stage. Kevin, if you're there, Devontae Smith, but then try and trade him. That's my answer. I'll keep this up until I see that you see it. Appreciate you all. Deuce.